In a small, sleepy town nestled at the edge of an ancient forest, a chilling discovery was made that would haunt its residents for years to come. The man responsible was known only by his notorious alias, the Collector. He was the kind of horror the town had only read about in distant headlines, a spectre of brutal tales and urban legends, until he was finally apprehended after a slip in judgment. As the detectives scoured his cramped, dimly lit apartment, they uncovered the unthinkable: a simple, leather-bound notebook, innocently sitting on a rickety desk. It was well-worn, pages stained and edges curled. Written on its cover in elegant, deliberate handwriting were 3 haunting words: a dark diary. Detective Harper, a grizzled veteran of the force, cracked open the notebook with a mixture of dread and duty. His hands trembled slightly as he flipped to the first page, revealing a detailed account of a murder, the Collector's first victim. Page 1, the beginning. The writing was meticulous, disturbingly neat. He described his first kill as an initiation, carefully planned and flawlessly executed. It was a woman he'd followed for weeks. She had a laugh that reminded him of shattering glass, and it drove him to rage. In vivid detail, he explained how he watched her routine, memorized her steps, and finally lured her into an alley one dark evening. He strangled her with a piece of silk, her favorite scarf which he'd stolen weeks before. The final line read, "There's something beautiful in silence." Detective Harper felt his stomach twist as he turned to the next page, the horror deepening with each description. Victim after victim, each entry more horrific than the last. Harper's partner, Officer Luna, read along with him, the color draining from her face as she absorbed each gruesome detail. Page 15, the dance. The Collector wrote about a dancer who frequented the same cafe he did. Her movements too perfect to be human. He decided she needed to be slowed down, stopped altogether. He described capturing her after her late-night rehearsal, tying her limbs in grotesque positions so she resembled the marionette she had always been. He finished the entry with a drawing of her twisted body marked with her name in bold ink, Charlotte. As the detectives read further, each account was more twisted than the last. The Collector didn't just kill, he performed a macabre art, with each victim seemingly inspired by their lives, fears and personalities. Each killing was personalized, as if he were making them unique in their demise. Page 32, the teacher. The next victim was a beloved high school teacher. The Collector detailed how he waited patiently for weeks, meticulously planning her demise. He had discovered her fear of the dark, a phobia she had kept hidden from all but those closest to her. One night he broke into her home and cut the power, leaving her in absolute darkness. She stumbled and screamed, fumbling through her own house while he watched from the shadows. When she finally reached a corner, he slipped a garrote around her neck, tightening it just enough to keep her in silent terror until she faded into the very darkness she feared. His final sentence? Darkness claimed her in the end. Page after page, the notebook chronicled his evolution into a killing machine, each entry containing meticulous details that the police would later confirm matched unsolved cases across multiple states. The notebook became darker, both in tone and method, as if he were perfecting his cruelty with each kill. Page 56, The Experiment. This was his most horrific entry yet. The Collector described abducting a local surgeon whom he admired. In this entry, he called him his apprentice. He went on to explain how he forced the doctor to operate on himself, removing a finger each hour, all while the Collector watched. The doctor's body was found with strange surgical scars, details the police had never made public. The Collector's words lingered, dark and triumphant. The student became the master. But it was the final page that disturbed them most. Unlike the others, it was blank, except for 2 words scrawled in red ink, to be continued. The detectives sat in silence, the weight of each entry pressing down on them. The collector was locked up, but something told them this was far from over.